When you think of the most important people in the OSC, you are most likely to think of people like Jack and Jillaby, Animation Epic, maybe even Fusion. But after the scandal, there is a name you'll never hear again. Gery. In my opinion, Gery is one of the most important, influential people in the OSC to this very day. Not only did he inspire hundreds of people to start making their object show content, like me, but he also completely brought back one of the most important object show genres just because of one show. Gery has made an unneglectable impact on this community, so in this video, I'll cover his entire story, answering why and how it all started and ended, because in my opinion, it's probably one of the most interesting stories that the OSC has ever had to this day. And with all that said, enjoy the video. First of all, not much is known about Gery before his YouTube journey. What we know is that he is an American YouTuber and that he was born on the 18th of October of 2004, making him 19 years old as of writing this. On April 26, 2018, Gery would create his YouTube channel. One of the very first things that Gery set out to do was work on a show by the name of Inanimate Roulette. However, due to unknown reasons, the show never even had a first episode. Gery would constantly say in the future that Inanimate Roulette wasn't cancelled and that a first episode would come out soon. But I'm pretty sure you know how that ends, right? Now, you might think that that's the end of the pre-Burger Brawl era, but there is something else that I haven't seen a single person talk about. This is sadly all based off of memory, but before Gery got the EDP genes, there was a playlist that contained video entries for a camp he participated in. I'm not sure what the name is, but the only things I can recall are that Gery made it to the finale and posted his final entry somewhere along May 2020, which is still before Burger Brawl. I'm pretty sure too that Gery was an envelope and that the camp's name was Camp something. Again, this is all based off of memory, and this may as well be one of my many hallucinations. And now to the moment where many people thought that Gery's story had begun. I am of course talking about Burger Brawl. Now, before episode 1 was published, Gery had made a trailer for the show called Burger Brawl Trailer. Published on September 23rd, the video contains some clips of the first episode and also the release date of the first episode, September 27th. And based off of the oldest comments of the video, people seemed to be excited and seemed to like what they saw. And when September 27th rolled around, Gery had delivered. Burger Brawl 1 was a very promising start to a joke show. Its use of its humor was what made it stand out. There wasn't anything like Burger Brawl at the time. Burger Brawl is a joke show that instead of having random objects to be the contestants, they were all based off of Gery's friends. The show also had swearing, and for being animated in FlipaClip, the animation was extremely solid. The show started to immediately do well, and would consistently gather hundreds of votes in the first few episodes. Everything was going smoothly until episode 3 of Burger Brawl. You see, during the production of the third episode, one of Gery's friends that was included in Burger Brawl as a contestant, Tice, had gotten into some drama with Gery's friend group, and due to Gery's other friends that were a part of Burger Brawl not being comfortable with Tice being in the show anymore, he was removed from it entirely, and would only serve as a joke character. This was mentioned in Gery's Q&A a couple months later.
From CabbageKid09, do you plan on doing something that relates to Tice's disappearance in the future? Tice's disappearance was kind of due to drama in our friend group, so I kind of had to remove him from Burger Brawl because other people really didn't feel comfortable with him. But I wouldn't mind having him appear in a future episode as a joke, but not as a character again, so I'm sorry to Tice fans.
But when all of that drama had concluded, everything continued as planned for Burger Brawl. He had also made a Discord server around episode 4, which has now been deleted, The Discord server was in every description of Burger Brawl episodes 4 to 11, so it would be fair to assume that the server was deleted around this time. But still, the show was still gaining more and more popularity and Gery was becoming more and more respected. And shortly after Burger Brawl 6 came out, and on New Year's Eve of 2020, Gery would hit his first major milestone, 1,000 subscribers. This was an amazing milestone for Gery. This meant that he now had community posts, which means more accurate information for this video, yippee! But after this milestone, Gery would decide to put Burger Brawl on hold and focus on another project. That was Burger Brawl Mini. This show is practically forgotten about today, but from the community posts Gery had made, there were 2 episodes of this series and with some progress done on the 3rd one. But after Gery was starting to stress out about Burger Brawl Mini, he decided that it would be best for him to end the series abruptly and made a final community post about the topic, with a vote that never ended up happening. So that was it for Burger Brawl Mini. But that meant that Burger Brawl would get back into action, and shortly before the release of Burger Brawl 8, Gery would make a community post asking for questions for a Q&A. And 2 weeks after episode 8 came out, Gery had published the Q&A, which is where I got the information of Gery's discovery of the OSC, and that he stated again that Inanimate Roulette wasn't cancelled, and that he just preferred working on Burger Brawl more.
And the last question, which was asked a lot, is Inanimate Roulette cancelled? And let me be the first to say it, no, it is not cancelled. I just like working on Burger Brawl more since it's a solo project. And I do eventually want to work on IR and maybe hire animators in the future, so look out for a video like that.
But after that, not much would really happen. Gery had started live streaming with his friends ever since Burger Brawl 9, and would do that frequently up until episode 17. And Gery's channel had also started growing fast. His channel went from 2,000 subscribers in March of 2021 to over 4,000 in early July. It was great for Gery, but at this point, all that he was doing was work on Burger Brawl, post sneak peeks on his community posts, finish the episodes, and repeat. So let's skip ahead a little bit. In between episode 11's and 12's releases, Gery had started a new series called Burger Brawl References and Facts, in which he would explain some of the references that Burger Brawl episodes had. This series, if you can even call it that, had only 2 episodes, but it was still a pretty cool series to have. The next change of pace was when Gery was gonna do yet another Q&A, but this time, it was from Greeny, one of Burger Brawl's contestants. When Gery asked in a community post for questions for Greeny, it got over 300 comments. It was easy to say that Gery's fans were hyped up for this. But despite the frequent updates and sneak peeks, we would never end up getting it. Probably due to Gery just moving the Q&A to a live stream with Greeny, the human being himself. But during this Greeny Q&A phase, Burger Brawl would hit a massive achievement. Burger Brawl had reached its 1-year anniversary, which was nothing short of amazing. The show had 13 episodes thus far, which meant that the episodes were coming out on a monthly basis for an entire year, which was insanely impressive for the time, including the fact that Burger Brawl was a solo project. But after this, Burger Brawl would start to take an interesting turn. The episodes went from coming out monthly to every 2 months. This was caused by Gery getting hit with school again, with episode 14 starting this trend. But that didn't yet mean that Burger Brawl would die. Gery's channel would still hit freaking milestones, like episode 1 would hit 100,000 views. It was safe to say that Burger Brawl was far from dead. Gery would also make a formal trailer for Burger Brawl for any new viewers interested, and still post content in between episodes. And when episode 16 came out, Gery had hit his largest subscriber milestone yet, 10,000. It was nothing short of incredible, and Gery would start making something during all of this. And it wasn't Burger Brawl. Instead, it was a remaster of the first episode. This is Burger Brawl Plus. Burger Brawl Plus was made to completely revamp the first few episodes of Burger Brawl, which by the time the revamps were made, the episode looked really stale in comparison to the newer episodes. The first revamp did insanely well, and it still stands as Gery's second most viewed video to this day. However, shortly after the episode's release, Gery had something to say. He formally announced in his community post that Burger Brawl was on hiatus. He stated that it was because of him not being happy while working on it, and that Burger Brawl Plus was just something else he could make before he would take a break. And with that, Burger Brawl would remain dormant. But we wouldn't have to wait too long for an update. Gery would start to tease Burger Brawl in his community post with screenshots of scenes in the episode, with him at one point even stating that the episode would come in August of 2022, but regardless, it would still be delayed further. All of Gery's fans were anxiously waiting for Burger Brawl 17's release, and with so much hype building up, when Gery finally announced a formal release date for the weekend, the community went wild, and that was what happened. Burger Brawl 17 is easily the best episode of Burger Brawl thus far, standing at an impressive 26 minutes in length, and being by far the most effort a Burger Brawl episode had had at that point. And considering the 7 months it took for the episode to come out, the episode was a significant step up from the rest of the pack. But Gery would stop there. His channel had reached 20,000 subscribers shortly after Burger Brawl 17 came out, and the episode has over 500,000 views to this day. But still, what was to happen after Burger Brawl 17? Well, Gery would surely answer that. In December of 2022, Gery will release something that nobody had expected: a Burger Brawl Friday Night Funkin' mod. The Burger Brawl FNF mod looked and was phenomenal. It included 3 songs with Greenie and another one featuring Nicole. It took many months to be made, including during Burger Brawl 17's production. But after the release of The Nightmare Before Burgermas, no new videos would be uploaded for months. But regardless, Gery would still frequently make community posts about the production of Burger Brawl Plus 2. And after 3 months of no uploads from Gery, Burger Brawl Plus 2 was released. It definitely brought Gery's channel back to life for a while. It would make a Patreon the following week. But on April 15th of 2023, something would come out that nobody expected from Gery. This was the joke. The joke was, well, a joke show made by Gery with original characters instead of other people's OCs as contestants. The first episode did well, having over 100,000 views now, and the second episode would premiere a month later. But that would be the end of this chapter, because in June of 2023, Gery's luck had finally run out. Now look, my last 2 videos were literally 13 whole minutes of me talking about drama, so I really just don't want to talk about any sort of drama anymore. But I guess I have to for the sake of this video. During July of 2022 and February of 2023, Gery would get involved in sexual conversations with AV, an anonymous Discord user, which were both 14 and 50 respectively at the time. I'm not going to describe what Gery did, but by looking at these screenshots you can probably get the idea. He was also 17 to 18 during all of this, which just made his actions even worse. All of these allegations would come out from an anonymous Twitter account that shared a link to a document bringing light to these claims. And after this, the entire OSC turned against him overnight. During this, Gery had lost over 1,000 subscribers on his channel, getting numerous comments and videos made on him, and having his reputation shattered. But something was off. Where was Gery during all of this? Well, just a few days later, he would respond. Gery had changed his about page to this. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Currently taking time off from the recent events to improve myself as a person. Don't expect anything major in the future. I'm sorry for everything that's happened and if this has affected anyone. I'll be seeking therapy and help to clean myself up and make sure none of these actions will be repeated. For now, thank you all for the memories together. Hopefully someday I could come back and make some more, but for now only time will tell. Thank you all for everything. Goodbye, Gery. And from then on, that was it. No tweets, no posts, no videos, nothing. And it will remain like that for a hot minute. Everyone had thought that Gery had been cancelled permanently and that things wouldn't change. But on July 16th of 2024, more claims were made on him. You see, even more stuff came out claiming that Gery had come back to Discord and had done even more sexual roleplay with minors. At first, the community believed that, but Gery quickly responded to the allegations in a community post. It was the first signs of activity made by Gery for over a year now, and he had made it clear that these claims were completely fake and that it wouldn't be logical for him to make a new Discord account with the exact same name just to enter with minors. But in the community post, he stated that he was preparing to make a final video formally apologizing for his past actions. And just a few days later, that's what we got. What the video contains isn't that important, but what you have to know is that Gery seemed genuinely sorry for his behavior, and that everyone seemed to forgive him. But the video was a double-edged sword though, and he said that he would leave the OSC for good and cancel all of his ongoing projects, which included Inanimate Roulette, yes, Burger Ball Plus, The Joke, and most importantly, Burger Ball. And that is the end of the story for Gery. Now look, if Gery is somehow watching this video, I have a few things to say to you. I know you probably don't see yourself having done any good for the OSC, but I beg to differ. Despite the allegations, I still genuinely believe that you're still one of the most important and impactful people to have been in the OSC. You revolutionized the idea of joke shows. You popularized the use of FlipaClip even further. But most of all, you gave many opportunities for so many people, including me, to start making videos for the community. You have inspired many, and your legacy in the OSC will never die out. And don't let what you did in the past bring you down. From what I've seen at the very least, you are probably the only big OSC YouTuber to properly redeem themselves after screwing up. And even that will leave a good mark in this community. But this speech isn't about trying to convince you to get back into making videos, because one, this video will be outdated, but because I know there's better stuff waiting for you. I know there will be something else that you'll be passionate about, and for you to fulfill your happiness. If you don't feel like the OSC will bring you said happiness, then don't. What I'm trying to say here is that you're now free to move on from this. But just know that I, and many other people, are happy to part ways. And I'm not sure if I'll be speaking for the entire OSC here, but just know that I sincerely wish you the best of luck in whatever you wish to do. And I hope you stay strong. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.